Welcome back to my animal education series. Today we're doing a setup enclosure on my Puebloan milk snake. We are outside, so there will be some road noise and kids or something over there. And then we'll have some thunderstorms rolling in about an hour or so, so I want to try to get this tank done. My dad just recently moved to the area. He brought down a bunch of the animals in the tanks, so I want to make sure I get these guys set up really quickly. So I don't have things like water bowls and a couple other odds and things like that. So this will not be 100%. I want to put some plants in down the line, but it's kind of pricey to buy a bunch of plants for a bunch of tanks at once, so it will be kind of a work in progress deal. But without any further ado, let's put this tank together. First off, I have the snake's cave. We actually got a travel bin that was big enough to fit this cave in, so the snake was super comfortable the entire ride down. I want to put this in this corner here. Now, we found this awesome log out in the woods, so we thought we would incorporate that. And a really nice part is we have these palm fronds, but I'm not going to put these in until we put all the dirt in, kind of situate everything and make sure this stuff isn't going to move. And of course we have magnolia leaves, we have various mosses, we have green moss, we have this weird fluffy moss that we found, we have bark, we have all sorts of stuff to put in here. So we're trying to make this super natural looking, as if this enclosure was straight out of some random forest in Florida. So let's put this dirt in so we can start setting it up and hopefully get this cage done and some of the other enclosures done before the storm hits. I have this organic topsoil that I got from Home Depot. It's probably a couple of bucks. I'm not trying to dump all of it right away, because if I don't have to use the entire bag, I won't. We're going to push this around. I want to dig a bunch of this, put it back behind there so that cave doesn't move. Snakes will kind of put everything where they want it. So even though you will set it up, the snake will set it up for itself after. We have found that out before in the past. We'll put plants in, the plants get completely uprooted. And it's just one of the lovely, lovely parts of having animals is you can, no matter how nice you set up that enclosure, the animal will always change it for you. So just try to bury this a little bit. We will have a water bowl probably here or here. I haven't quite decided that yet, but I will deal with that when I go and get the water bowls out of the moving truck, either this afternoon or tomorrow. We're gonna put this all there, and then now that looks all right to me. Let's put these palm fronds on. I'm gonna take this bigger one here. It's not nearly as thick towards the center, but it has, actually no, I'm gonna switch to that one because it's more dense in this part. I'm gonna put that over the cave so it seems more natural for the snake. Because if the snake was living down in Florida, these palm fronds would be everywhere and you can definitely hide under them. And there may just be a rock that you can hide there. I'm gonna put this over here as well. Make it look like it probably fell off the same tree. And put that in there. We're gonna get plenty of these magnolia leaves and pine needles that are in here. We're gonna sprinkle these around. When I introduce isopods and springtails into this enclosure, this will be great areas for them to hide and out of the snake's way. I'm gonna try some of this fluffy moss. Snakes are pretty destructive in their movement and in their enclosures. So this is really just a test run to see if this moss will even work in an enclosure setup, but it's worth a shot. Found this moss in a local forest to us, and I thought it looked pretty neat. It was all in the shade, so I thought I'd grab some and throw it in. Also have plenty of this moss here. I'm just gonna put this kind of in some shaded areas where it's not directly in the sun, like right here underneath this palmetto frond. We're gonna put one under here, under this frond here. Other than that, it's not really a whole lot of big cover, so I don't want to put it out here in the middle of where I'm gonna put a heat lamp or a plant light eventually and just dry it out. That's not what I'm aiming for. But just know it where it gets a little bit of light, and that's pretty much all of those plants need. I'm gonna break off some of this bark here, and we're gonna put this over here in front of the log. So again, it kind of looks like it came from the same tree, even though these palmetto trees definitely did not come off of this tree. put this over here. Again, this will also be great heights for the isopods as well. As the last steps, I decided, with my cameraman mostly, to put some moss here next to the log. Because if you're to go out in the middle of the woods and you're gonna see moss, chances are it's right next to or right on a branch. So if this does grow, maybe it'll grow up and on this log here, which would make it seem super natural. So put it right in here. Then I'm gonna put this piece right back in here. It's all around this log as if you were to find this in nature. And then to make it seem really real, I went and got some sand from my backyard. Just kind of sprinkle it over the entire setup. The substrate itself does have some sand and peat moss in it, but just a little bit more sand doesn't hurt, especially since I have a puppy that loves digging a giant hole. He gives me free sand whenever I want. So I just have to go over to his hole and pick it up. But this is going to be about 99% complete on the Milkshake enclosure. Again, I will put a water bowl at some point once I figure that out. But for right now, this is going to work until I get that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this lid on, and we can call it quits on this project. Thank you guys so much for watching me set up this enclosure. I really like setting up enclosures and building custom and more natural enclosures for my animals. I've never had a super elaborate enclosure for my milk snake before, and I do know that the snake will use all of this setup as it has in the past. So I wanted to make sure I can give the snake a bunch of places to go, actually use all the space where it was different than the other side of the enclosure and where it looked really natural. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe to my channel, and as always, I will see you next week.